thank you so much for the news on TMI. Of course, every Monday morning, immediately after the news report segment, the segment that comes immediately after that is the aviation, where, of course, we look at various aviation programs and events, which, of course, our own number one Nigerian aviation freak has had the opportunity of seeing, witnessing, and participating. He also doubles as a licensed estate surveyor and valuer. Of course, we shall be looking at what we started 2 weeks ago, and the bubble burst. This time around, part 2, and today, I'm happy to announce that he is live with me on the studio. A very good morning to you. You're welcome.
Good morning, Joe. How was your weekend?
Well, that's good. And yours?
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, quickly.
My dear viewers, please welcome to the program.
Part 2 of what we started 2 weeks ago, and the bubble burst, a complete story of the Dana air crash. Now, what do we have when it comes to what we started 2 weeks ago? I know we talked about how you peep through the window and discover that some engineers were trying to start the engine manually, and you raise an alarm that the airplane is not airworthy, and that those, your co-passengers, if they want to arrive at their destination safely, they have to disembark.
That's correct.
And when you step down, some security agents, had to ask you some question, and to an extent, you are detained until about 12 a.m. Now, let's have a continuation of what happened.
Oh, yeah, Joe, you just put it easily, and I'll tell you, that night remains a night I will never forget the rest of my life. And, it was a night for me, the bubble began to swell, and nobody did anything until the elastic limit was exhausted and it burst, leading to unnecessary waste of innocent lives. And I continue to remind us that the essence of this program is to recall events in aviation that we might have forgotten, in order to learn lessons therein and ensure that they never happen again. So, of course, the airplane was not airworthy. And what was more, what the officials of Dana Air, were doing, trying to tinker with the engine while passengers were already boarded, was a big taboo in aviation. It's not done. You must finish with all your technical works before you get passengers to board the airplane. And if after boarding you discover that there are some technical issues that needed to be done, and then you disembark. You get them all out of the airplane and fix whatever you want to fix, and then apologize for the waste of time, and then they get safely on their way.
Irrespective of what you are going to lose in terms of finance.
The bill of rights is there. If you think you've been terribly, inconvenienced, you seek your right under the bill of rights. And of course, if you do seek, unfortunately, Nigerians don't give time to the real things that will develop this nation. We're always in a hurry, going nowhere, achieving nothing. We must learn to stop any piece of nonsense we find anywhere. It's the only way we can build this nation. By accepting anything that goes and say, no, I don't have time for this. All right, they will only get worse until they hit you really hard, and God help you if it doesn't cost you your life. And so we must all have all hands on deck in building this nation,
including the NCAA that needs to certify.
That's correct.
An airplane before it takes off.
That's correct. Everybody, and then when our efforts add up, they give us the kind of beautiful nation we are looking for. It won't fall from the skies. Never. Not as man affair in those days.
Okay, now
we'll build it ourselves.
In continuation of what we started.
Let's get to clip one quickly and remind our viewers what we are up to this morning. Part 2 of And the Barber Bust. Yes, clip 1 is simply reminding our viewers what we are dealing with, which is on the Barbara Bust, the complete story of Dana Air crash that took place on the 3rd of June 2012. Let's quickly move to part 2. Clip 2, please. History of Dana Air, Joe. Dana Air is an airline founded and registered in Nigeria in 2008, headquartered and based at Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. It is a Nigerian regional airline. Currently, the airline operates in and out of the following destinations: Abuja, that's Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport; Lagos, Murtala Muhammed International Airport; Owerri Sam Mbakwe Airport; Port Harcourt International Airport; Kaduna, it is Kaduna Airport; Accra, Ghana, Kotoka International Airport. Those are the destinations that they're still enjoying. Click 3, please. We want to continue with the history of Dana Air. Currently operating with 6 airplanes consisting of one number McDonnell Douglas MD-82 and 5 numbers McDonnell Douglas MD-83, one of which crashed in 2012, precisely on 3rd June. Dana Air had its own fair share of ups and downs. In the midst of economic challenges and associated poor maintenance of its aircraft, the airline's MD-83 McDonnell Douglas, operating as Flight 992, on 3rd June 2012, crashed into a 2-story building at Iju Railway, Ishaga, Lagos, killing all 153 people on board, and of course, and 10 more on the ground. As a consequence of the crash, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, temporarily suspended its operating license. Shortly after, without any explicable reason, NCAA in September 2012 restored its operating license while inquiry into the crash was still going on. Barely 1 year after, precisely in October 2013, the airline's license was once again suspended. You would wonder why they had their license returned to them if they were not sure. That
3 months after the crash?
That's correct. While inquiries were still going on.
Another 3 months after the crash, it was suspended again.
No, 1 year after.
Okay, 1 year.
Yeah, sometime in October 2013.
They
suspended them once again. So it's a big wonder why they were allowed to fly just barely 3 months, and why inquiries were still going on to understand exactly what went wrong and be sure that they could still fly people safely. All right. Now, the airline's license was once again suspended in in October 2013. Okay. After a few months of auditing, the airline finally on 26th January 2014 resumed its operations, and Joe, up until this day we're talking about, they're still operating, and thank God they haven't. I am not using the word doing well, but they haven't dropped off the skies, and God help us that they never do. We don't wish that, because anybody can be a victim. All right. So let's run to clip 4, please. We are continuing with Dana Air and the bubble, the day the bubble burst. The deadliest aviation disaster involving the McDonnell Douglas MD-83 took place in Lagos on Sunday, the 3rd June 2012. Marked as Dana Air Flight 992, the scheduled domestic commercial passenger flight from Abuja to Lagos crashed into a furniture works and printing press building in the Iju Ishaga neighborhood of Lagos. The crash resulted in the deaths of all 153 people on board and 10 on the ground. The crash is also the second deadliest aircraft crash on Nigerian soil after the Kano air disaster of 1973. The twin-engine McDonnell Douglas MD-83, registered in Nigeria as 5NRAN, was built in 1990. Right from its rollout, it flew for Alaska Airlines in the US until 2007 and was sold to another airline before it was acquired by Dana in February 2009.
So it was built in 1980.
That's what the history of the airline had.
So which of course means that Dana didn't use a brand new airline.
No. It had been used by Alaska Airlines, and Alaska Airlines had sold to yet another airline that has never been mentioned in any of the data available. Otherwise, I would have brought it to you. But then Dana Air acquired from this other airline. And began to fly. Joe, let me correct an impression before we begin to make a mistake. An aircraft is as old as its lack of maintenance. What am I saying?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old the aircraft is.
That's correct.
So long as it passes through regular checks.
That's correct. You're getting the message. A 20-year-old airplane that is successfully undergone a due C check, for instance, is safer and better than a 6-month-old airplane that is due for air check that is missed. If you've run it around the world and it is due for its first check of an air check, and because you think everything is still brand new and everything is still working well, you fail to do that air check, that airplane is more dangerous than a 20-year-old that is undergone a C check honestly and successfully. All right.
So what is the duration or interval between these checks?
No, you see, for all manufacturers, you have the manual that tells you those things that have shelf lives, that if you don't use them, once that lifespan expires, you throw them away. You must get a fresh one. And the other ones that are time-based. If, for instance, they say this one can only fly for 2,000 hours. At 2,000 hours of flight, that particular piece must be removed from the aircraft, whether it's still working perfectly or not. And those are the checks. So, as pilots fly, they fill in their logbook. And as soon as they log in a certain number of hours, they should be able to know what should be done in the check. And the plane must be turned in for that check to be done. It's the only way. And in that way, you can fly and fly and fly, and that airplane will never fall off the skies, except when there is a human error. More often than not, airplanes drop off the skies because of human error. They are awesome machines, they are faithful machines, and they are so well built with a lot of redundancy and a lot of monitoring every inch of the machine. And so, it tells you well in advance if anything is about to go wrong. And if human operators were to match the faithfulness by immediately tackling the announcement the airplane is made to you,
the signals,
that's correct, we won't have issues. Let's run quickly to clip 5. We have about 8 clips to go, so that like I said to you, this time,
yes, we have the time.
What we are dealing with right now is let's see, we still I mean, my time is showing me that we still have about 16 minutes to go. Are we there? Right. Dana Air Flight 992 departed